play of the game from way down.
True, silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bombs going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bombstats Nico gonna find Rainer.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going to do a replay cast here for the Nexus Gaming Series Division A East between Heroes of the United States and Party Time, HOTUS. And since this is a replay cast, not as much to do. So we're going to go ahead and show you the maps. We're going to get into the game, and then we'll do it again. So taking a look at our maps here. Let me see, do I have... I don't have who picked this. Let me find out that information real quick. Map pick party time. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the maps. So, Heroes of the United States, they started us off with the bans on Tabraxis Holdout and Alterac Pass. Party Time, banning out Sky Temple and Towers of Doom. And our first game going to be the selection of Party Time. It's going to be on Dragonshire. Our teams, well, they're all ready to go. They were ready to go days ago. So we're going to get this started right now. Not draft. There we go. Hold on a second. Let's just get them to be quiet. Be right back.
The Dark Nexus. It is mine to wield, to control. I am the World Breaker. The world heaves with my torment. Show me my enemy. Acquire new targets. I return. For Adun. From order comes justice. Glory to the firstborn. Go forth and slaughter in my name. The Raven Lord demands it.
All right, let's try that again, shall we? All right, so on the left, we've got Heroes of the United States. Let's get our teams introduced, shall we? We got Blaze playing Tassadar. Waterboy, yeah, we'll just call him Waterboy, is going to be on Imperius there. Watson on the Johanna, Jub on Anduin, and Nazebo going to be played by Clyde.
10 seconds.
And for Party Time, we got Poke Flute playing the Ana on the new Pegasus there. We got Chess Clue on the ETC, Shoeman on Gul'dan, Bishop Miss playing the Alarak, and Leoric going to be played by Sealyman. Alright, so we do have some questing talents to begin with. It's going to be Thing of the Deep there for Nazebo, and the Shockray talent, Static Charge, so ultimately giving that extra burst of damage anytime he throws out that Q from the Tassadar. It's going to be the Fell Flame quest and Prog Rock, and that covers our stacking quests here at the beginning. Chess Clue gonna power slide on out as Alric getting the telekinesis with the Discord Strike, getting a lot of damage out onto the Tassadar, but no kills just yet at 42 seconds into this game. How can that be? Isn't there always a kill in like the first 20 seconds? Isn't that how this works? Well, speaking of kills here, we get the silence out on Imperious power slide, and at 52 seconds, just 10 seconds after I thought, we got a kill. All right, camps now available on both sides here. But a 4v3 in the bot lane with the Gul'dan, so there's a little bit more siege pressure on the side of Party Time as the Dragon Knight's coming up here. Leoric making his way, looking at starting that shrine. But the rest of the teams here in the bot lane gonna get the siege camps out on the map here first. Nazebo working with the double soak into the middle here. ETC is going to get the power slide, and Clyde's a little low, but there's not enough damage between ETC and Ana, certainly not at this level, to secure that kill onto Nazebo. So Leoric just pushing up the lane up in the top is going to begin that channel. Imperious getting the Celestial Charge onto 2. And that looked a little questionable. That was on either side of his spear, I would say. But, you know, these angels got to do things to survive. Nazebo heading back up into the top lane does have the opportunity now to continue his trait quest. What is this called? Voodoo Ritual, of course. And a lot of damage going on Tassadar. Tassadar no longer has that shielding, right? This is the new and improved Tassadar. So instead of shielding, he gets his Force Wall now permanently as an ability. There it is. He's kept the Psy Storm and then the Shock Ray. So really the Shock Ray is the new ability. He can take a level 4 quest, or talent rather, Plasma Shield, and there it is. So when he's got his Resonance Beam stacked, he gains shielding here. Alarak getting brought very low, sitting at half health. But HOTUS able to flip the charge and stop the Dragon Knight channel there in the middle. Leoric has both Fealty and Kneel Peasants, so he's going to be able to make that double soak happen. He should be able to keep up with the Nazebo pretty well, although Nazebo over time will get better. But the Force Wall keeping Alarak locked away from his gate is going to be the first kill now for Heroes of the United States. Watson coming into the middle, looking to gather that soak. Lots of minions here. And in the bot lane, Imperious might be looking to see if, with the Tassadar, Tassadar can do a pretty significant burst of damage, especially with that upgraded Shock Ray. So if Tassadar is able to hit that off of a Celestial Charge from Imperious, that could be a lot of damage. Alarak alone in the middle, although Nazebo making his way down should be able to stall this out with a Spider, which he does. Misses the Spider, but ultimately Alarak pulled away, so fair enough. Waterboy going in with that Celestial Charge, not able to land it, and the Force Wall there, keeping anybody from coming in. Johanna rotating down, looking to maybe get onto the ETC. ETC has the power slide, so he's able to get out the danger ping called for the bush, but nobody's in there. It's safe. And Nazebo, you know, making his way around that top and mid lane. He's sitting at 52 stacks. Kind of would expect a little bit more considering he's double soaking. There's the Sleep Dart onto 2. Can they make anything work? Not quite. Bell Flame waking him up. And I imagine Bishop Mist didn't have the spells required to get that, because that could have been a double kill potentially. ETC gets power slide over the Imperious. Now Imperious in a dangerous place here. The Force Wall ultimately helping, I think, to secure that kill onto the Imperious. Blaze now falling pretty low, but should be able to make it back. The towers providing the additional protection required, as Watson hanging out in the mid to make sure that this Dragon Knight isn't immediately picked up here by Party Time. Ana channeling it, but there's no flashlight left, so that's going to be a condemn. Ultimately missed with the condemn, but Ana pulled off anyway. So now in the bot lane, Anduin and Tassadar here, able to stall out the channel. ETC trying to pick it up, as Nazebo holding on to it up top as well. So Nazebo going into Toads and Big Voodoo here. So Nazebo picking up those talents will be able to do a pretty hefty amount of damage with the toads, but also can get rather beefy himself, especially with the double soak. So we'll have to see if he's able to continue building 81 stacks now. Celestial Charge onto ETC has no power slide, Force Wall coming out, the silence, but there's the Horrify coming out now. We've got Imperius in a little bit of a dangerous place, but he's able to pull that out. Nazebo using the Zombie Wall is going to be able to prevent anybody from picking the Dragon up right away. But Leoric going in, can we get a stall out of Nazebo? There's the spiders. So doing some pretty good work here on the stall, but the Leap of Faith coming out, keeping Blaze alive for just a moment here. Leoric getting stalled out by the Nazebo once again, and Alarak saying, you know what? I've had enough of this. Get out of here. Use a telekinesis to throw him away, and the first Dragon Knight's going to go over to party time. They're going to take it down the mid lane, already getting these towers down. Blaze falling very low on the Tassadar there, nearly falling as the wall completed here, and the Dragon Knight sitting at about 50%. Gonna head on down to the bot lane, get what soak they can out of this, stop the damage from that siege camp, and maybe get a tower or two down here in the bot lane. Alarak with the pull there, the ETC power slide as well. Light Bomb going out onto Imperius, but ultimately not able to land on anybody there as he was trying to be a little bit more defensive. Force Wall coming out onto Alarak, the Blessed Shield coming out as well. The knockback keeping the Celestial Charge from landing. Can they get the kill onto Alarak? It's so close, but just not quite in a position to do so. Angelic armaments they're used for defensive purposes. And with Nazebo in the solo lane there, they should be able to get, if they can get to 20, Nazebo should be stacked. He's sitting at 100 already, so that should be good. Tacit are sitting at 120, so that's a pretty significant amount of damage bonus as well. That's 5 per hit, so 120 bonus damage right now. And Johanna, now silenced, was able to get the Iron Skin up, so she's nice and safe for the moment. Taking a look at our ultimates, we've seen several of these already. Haven't called out there the Ravenous Spirit for the Nazebo or Archon for Tassadar. Also the Nano Boost for Ana, the Entomb for Leoric. We saw that Horrify. Deadly Charge, also the pick. So not going into Counter-Strike, going full offense here. And of course the Mosh Pit from ETZ. Level 13's coming up soon.
The shrines are ready for the taking.
And coincidentally, a Dragon Knight. We'll see these shrines getting activated. We see the pings being called here for the assist into this bush. ATC isolating here. Blessed Shield going out. Alarak very low and also slowed. Now has a Force Wall he's got to get around. Alarak being the target here from the Tassadar, but with the Archon getting some damage, but ultimately not able to get the kill. Archon functioning a little bit differently now. Speaking of the Archon here, getting pulled back in, ETZ gets a power slide, the Celestial Charge, however, keeping Tassadar safe for the moment. The Deadly Charge did go out, did not get the kill, but the Lightning Surge does finish the job. As Ana holding on to the point. Oh, nice combo coming from Alarak, ultimately going to force Imperius to hit the well. And Nazebo sitting rather healthy here as Leoric ghost walking up to pick up the top shrine? Temple? Shrine. And Alarak maybe looking for the Nazebo here. But ultimately just going to zone out so that Leoric can pick up the Dragon Knight. And that's going to be the second Dragon Knight going over to party time. Alarak coming back in. Nazebo making life choices. And the Dragon Knight heading into the mid lane, finishing off the mid fort here. We've got Alarak and Ana a little bit behind, providing some support for the Dragon here, as ETC trying to keep the siege camp alive in the bot lane as long as possible, get as much value out of that as they can. Dragon Knight going to fall very quickly, but not before they can get a full fort. Rotation coming down after Johanna. Now, Johanna doesn't have Falling Sword, so she's pretty much in the full team of party time here. Celestial Charge is going to come in, but Watson didn't matter. Wasn't anything Watson could do there. Deadly Charge coming in, looking for the Tassadar, gets the full combo. Power Slide coming in as well, and make it a face melt. Kill secure by ETC. Tassadar going to be heading back to the graveyard. With that Siege Camp, that's going damage right into that bottom fort. So clearing up this lane gives Party Time the opportunity then to push in, take this bottom fort, maybe even get a little bit of damage on this keep wall, as they also have level 16 now. Leoric making his way onto the top tower. Getting some pretty decent structure value up here in the top lane. Nazeebo not quite keeping up with that, as the Bruiser Camp now on the table for Party Time. And what's left? They're basically top lane Bruiser Camps here. We see Nazeebo trying to do that here in the top lane. And we're gonna see the rotation here coming in from Party Time. Recognizing they're missing the Nazeebo. He's been gone for a little while here. And the Entomb coming out. Can Leoric finish the kill? The Ice Block coming out for Nazeebo. The Bruiser Camp now picked up successfully by Party Time, and so that should give him top fort as well. The Dragon Knight coming up here in a moment. Level 13s. What do we have for Tassadar? Well, we'll come back to that. Waterboy getting caught there. Mosh Pit is online, and a huge combo from Alarak. Make it a quad kill set up by that ETC. Just a few moments there for 4 heroes to find themselves quickly in the graveyard, joining the Nazeebo. And they don't even care about the Dragon Knight right now. They're instead going to push with the Bruiser Camp, get this bottom wall, maybe even the bottom keep down. They've got the full power of that minion wave. They've got the Gul'dan, they've got the Alarak. We see Ana heading back now, and of course Leoric already pulling the top. Dragon Knight should go over to Leoric here. The question is it enough to win the game? Bottom keep now down. I think we're going to see Party Time wait for that Dragon Knight. They're all on even talent tiers now. Tassadar going into the level 13 feedback, so similar to a talent he used to have with the slows, also reducing the physical armor at level 16. Has a couple of others there. We'll talk about that stuff later. And now the core here throws out Petrification, so it's going to be a big stun. Blaze, however, getting caught with the silence, is going to have to fall back to his base. Chest Clue taking a bunch of damage, ultimately will fall to said Tassadar, but the Dragon Knight wailing away on the core, sitting at 80% here. There's the Nazeebo getting the Ravenous Spirit, gets the kill onto the Alarak. Dragon Knight getting the core down to 40%. Can Leoric do enough? Nah, he's out of here. I don't think he makes it though. 35% on the core for Party Time. Strong push there, but just not quite enough to get the kill onto that core. And now here's the United States coming in, seeing if they can't start working on getting this map in their favor. Push up some lanes, get some camps, maybe get some structure value here. They do have the Johanna, but towers do so much more damage now, so they don't have any real way to... Oh, I guess they do. They have Nazeebo. Yeah. They have a zombie wall that they could be throwing out. So Nazeebo could certainly allow them to push up in this bot lane with that zombie wall. There it is right there, taking the shots. And they've got a siege camp behind them. So Leoric's coming up in a few seconds. Alarak's coming up in a few seconds. I don't know that there's enough time for them to get this without some danger here. And level 20's coming up very soon for Party Time. Party Time looks like they're going to go ahead and try to defend the fort here, and it looks like they just might do it. And there are the level 20s. We see them coming on, selected very quickly here. Leoric looking for that buried alive right now. Instead, going in with that ominous wraith here. We're going to get the light bomb stun onto Leoric, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to take out that Tassadar. Johanna fully into the team. ETC getting that big mosh pit. Does not have death metal, so he's not concerned about that though. Is Anduin and there's the last laugh, I think it's called. Hasty Bargain rather gets the combo there onto Nazebo, not quite able to get the kill, but he'll get it now. And with the 4-man kill, we're going to see Party Time making their way onto the core for the second time. With only Johanna to stop them, I don't think that they're too concerned here. The stun from the core is a nuisance, but you can spread out pretty decently. But we do see both of the damage get caught there by it. It's a pretty significant circle. Game number 1 going over to Party Time. Take a look at these stats and the kills for just a moment here. Look at the talents in a moment as well. Nope, not that one. This one. Alrighty, let's get set up for game number 2. Game number 2 is going to be on Infernal Shrines. It was the selection of... One moment. Map pick is Party Time. All right, let's get the heroes typed in real quick while the game is loading. Perfect. Just the right amount of time. All right, let's get our teams introduced and get this game underway. Game number 2 between Heroes of the United States and Party Time. Party Time currently up 1-0. Let's go ahead and start with them on the right here. We got Chess Clue playing Johanna. I got Poke Flute on the Alexstrasza, Bishop Mist playing Tychus, Shoeman on the Gul'dan, and Sealyman on Dahaka. And for Heroes of the United States, we got Waterboy playing the Arthas, Watson on the ETC, Jub on Rhaegar. Did I type that in? I don't remember saying that. I did. Okay. Raynor going to be played by Clyde and Blaze on the Orphea. It's Heroes of the United States. Let the battle begin indeed. So we are on Infernal Shrines. And let's take a look at our talents here. So we've got the Howling Blast stacks here. Frost Presence for Arthas, allowing for eventually a line of root instead of just the tip, so to speak. For Dahaka here, it's going to be enhanced agility, so that's going to give him extra movement speed with that. ETC is going to power slide in, looking for the Tychus, gets the root out onto Tychus as well. Not quite enough damage to get the kill, as he's going to go ahead and dash away. Also, Felflame once again on the Gul'dan, so eventually the higher radius on his cone there. Orphea going in, looking for that Tychus, but Tychus saying, hey, I got a minigun, that's fine. But that penetrating round, Raynor's not too happy with his good buddy Tychus there. Taking a look up in the top lane here, so Dahaka versus Arthas. Right now, Dahaka getting the value in that XP, but Sealyman's going to be the one to fall there. Raynor getting the last shot onto Gul'dan. First blood. Took a little bit longer, about 20 seconds longer than the first game. We also have Raynor going into Exterminator, so that's going to help them on the Shrine clear, on the Wave clear. And should they lose the Punisher, help them to clear that Punisher. Johanna deep into the team here against Heroes of the United States. But ultimately this is a 3v4. Gul'dan not quite back. And onward to the camps. We've got Party Time saying, hey, let's get this right now. Johanna's going to go ahead and provide some vision into the mid lane, maybe try to soak that, although Arthas is behind her, so knows full well what's going on over here. And is going to lead the charge in just a little bit too late to get in onto the camp, as level 4 is available for HOTUS. It's not going to matter though, as Shoeman getting caught out. And that's another kill here in favor of Heroes of the United States. First 2 kills of the game so far going over to Jimothy Rayner. Where are those kills? 6? 7? There we go. Can Rayner pull off the hat trick? Can he get the 3rd kill in the game as well? We'll have to see. As both teams now sitting at level 5. So they've got those level 4 talents here. Johanna going into the Empowered Condemn, so she's able to reduce the cooldown and also the refund of mana anytime she uses the Condemn. Very valuable talent here on Infernal Shrine, since you got all those little shrine monkeys to trigger off of. Nice knockback there from Rayner, keeping Tychus into that root from Arthas. And we're going to get the whole team nice and healthy on the side of Party Time, with Dahaka looking to come from above. But so far, HOTUS is on this and getting a full quarter of the minions before Party Time coming in. Waterboy getting a little bit low here, and it's Arthas, so he doesn't have the ability really to heal himself up a whole lot. And he just has to kind of walk out, right? He can slow everybody else, but he's going to have to go tap 18, 21 to 8 right now as Party Time coming in. I imagine that Alexstrasza has Dragon Queen, so we may very well see that here in a few moments. But she's also out of mana. Doesn't require mana to throw out those Qs, though. I don't remember the name of that ability, but it's just a single target heal. It uses her health, however. So that you can see here, Alexstrasza is sitting at half health. There's the stun out onto Shoeman. He's going to have to pull back Johanna as well, using the Unstoppable to get out Dahaka, the final to get away. But Rhaegar going to be the one to fall. Falls, in fact, to Tychus there. Bishop Mist having to pull up. Has no health or mana. So basically everybody on the side of Party Time has no health, no mana, and they're going to pull back. But even with that kill, Heroes of the United States is able to pick up this Frozen Punisher in the mid lane. And we'll see if they push with it. Exterminator Rayner may give him a little bit of... it's not going to give him anything. It doesn't do any damage, additional damage to forts. So pulling the Punisher over here. It is a Frozen Punisher, so it eventually will shut down the fort. There it goes. So ultimately just some damage onto the wall here. Maybe a little bit of damage onto the fort, but not going to be able to follow it up with any significant damage onto this fort from HOTUS. Checking in with the ETC and Dahaka up here on the top. Not a lot going on. But, you know, we got a cloud to ride around on for Watson here. Still a little while from level 10, but should be available by the time the next the next shrine is coming up. So that was in the mid lane. We'll see top or bottom. It's going to be bottom. So expect to see these teams prioritizing getting a little bit of value on the structures here. Right now, just a little bit on the tower here on the side of Party Time, and of course halfway on the wall for HOTUS. So want to see some prioritization into getting structure damage here. Could very well be from HOTUS that they do that with a Syndergosa here in a bit, but Arthas going to be caught here. Johanna not phased in the least by the Frozen Tempest, thanks to that Iron Skin, and so Party Time is going to get the bottom camp. Rhaegar Jub there, going to get this mid camp started as well, so probably going to see both of the teams go clear that out once they pick them up. Johanna coming in, just checking, making sure if they're over there, and they are. And level 10 is now available here for Party Time, so it's going to be Horrify. We got the Blessed Shield, Cleansing Flame for the Alexstrasza. And we'll have to find out the others in a second here, as level 10's coming up as well for Heroes of the United States. It's going to be Odin and Isolation. On the other side, though, we've got the Crushing Jaws along with the Hyperion, so a little bit more push pressure into these forts. We also got the Ancestral Healing, and I mean, it's going to be Syndragosa and Mosh Pit, right? Like, I don't know why we're holding on to this. I agree, Alice. All right, Shaman camps picked up here. There are no other camps on the map. So we may yet see a fight coming up here, or we may see a gank potential looking for the Dahaka. They're not going to be able to get it, but that's going to open up as soon as they see. This gives Party Time the opportunity now to get that damage I mentioned earlier in the bot lane. And Dahaka is just fine, is able to pull back here. So a little bit of push coming up in the top lane for HOTUS. But it's going to be much more valuable for Party Time here in the bot lane. And our solo laner in either half here is trying to do what they can, but there's very little that you can do if you're by yourself. Ultimately, both of these forts being sacrificed. But with the Punisher coming up in the bot lane now, I think that favors Party Time pretty heavily. Shaman camp does need to get cleared, but you have Dahaka. Dahaka can even grab the Shaman, drag it into the towers and be fine. This time, though, Party Time is going to get started first. They're sitting at 14, make it 16, and Odin being used there. Dahaka's not here yet, so this is still a 4v5. Crushing Jaws going out, and the deletion onto Alexstrasza. That's a fantastic pick for them early into this fight. Dahaka is here now, so no healer on the side of Party Time, but they're still going. Looking for the Arthas. ETC is going to power slide over the Dahaka and take him out. Mosh Pit was the selection. We still don't have Arthas's. I still expect it to be Syndragosa, so we'll see. Especially if they pick up this Punisher. And with that, they will now surpass Party Time on the Skeletal Defenders. Johanna's still here, kind of walking around, just checking in, seeing where they're at. Not enough to poke, though. And Chessclue falling very low here, almost falling to the Orphea. And here comes the Arcane Punisher. It is going to be Syndragosa, looking for the dragon coming in right now. There it is. Is going to catch some heroes as well, it looks like. For some reason the game keeps wanting to pause. But thanks to the Syndragosa, fort shut down, and that's going to equal up the bot lane for HOTUS. And they also have that top lane pressure, so occasional catapults going on there with the Dahaka to stall that out. Punisher going to get pulled over, still sitting at about half health. But it'll fall pretty quickly here. It's taking tower shots, or fort shots rather. But some pretty decent wall damage for HOTUS. They'll get that full wall down, the one tower, almost the second tower, not quite enough. And this is a risky play, coming in to get the siege camp, but they're ultimately able to succeed. They've got the Rhaegar slow, and Arthas was able to throw out his root just in case. Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, the siege camp getting about half of the fort value. So right now, the control of the map mostly in favor of Heroes of the United States. A little bit of a tank, little kissy face there between Waterboy and Chessclue. Just saying hello, Arthas and Johanna. Meeting in the old steam vent in the bot lane. And with that camp going in the bot lane here, this is an opportune time for Party Time to fight. If they can get everybody in, they find the right place. But Johanna's 100% isolated. There's nowhere for her to go. She gets rooted. Unstoppable coming out. Does have the armor reduction though, so Rainer's gonna be able to pull that off. And that looks like about it. So Johanna makes it out of a little bit of a precarious position there, but needed the rest of the team to make that work. And both teams, it looks like, maybe heading off to their shaman camp. Let's see, can we zoom out of the way? Yeah, we can see just at the edge here, and this is the value of the widescreen. You can see both of the shaman camps, and we can even see a little bit of what's going on in the mid lane. They're all tiny. Can't really see who they are, but they're there. But it looks like Party Time gonna head up into the top lane, clear out, and maybe see if they can't push over this top fort. And it looks like ETC's coming in. Johanna holding onto that bush to make sure that they can't gank the rest of the team. Raynor's not quite there, neither is Orpheus, so there's no real damage threat coming in from HOTUS just at the moment. Dahaka should be able to come in. I don't think we've seen him dig around for quite some time, so his Brush Stalker should be available. ETC now looking for that mosh pit though. Coming around behind him, wasn't quite able to find it, was just a little bit too late. And the top lane now is where the next Punisher is coming from. It's going to be a Mortar Punisher. Let's take a look at these talents. Level 16s available only for HOTUS at the moment, but Party Time's coming right up. And we can see HOTUS continuing to gather that XP. They've got a few seconds until the shrine is up. And we'll see what they're going to look for here. We have all the ultimates up for both teams. No Brush Stalker just yet. Dahaka instead making his way walking up here. However, we got the root coming out on Johanna, and that's it. She's gone. Alexstrasza using Cleansing Flame, not quite enough to keep Johanna alive. And with that, Party Time's going to go ahead and pull back and try to get value elsewhere. I think, you know, maybe bottom keep would be ideal. I mean, they can push that lane up really easily with Gul'dan. They're not going to get this Punisher at this point with Johanna being dead for 20 seconds. So instead, Gul'dan's going to grab the siege camp, and Tychus going to work on getting some more XP in the mid lane. And they'll have a camp, I guess basically a double camp here in the mid lane. ETC helping out to defend against all this. But I think they missed an opportunity. I think this could have been a lot of value for them, getting at least equal value in the bot lane, you know, taking out those towers and wall, and then being able to come back and defend this. Arthas watching from below there, making sure that the Dahaka can't come in. Now, there's no ETC, and he doesn't have stage dive, so ETC's just trying to prevent the potential double camp from doing too much damage, as Syndragosa coming out, shutting down all the structures here. And Hyperion as well with that Yamato cannon, getting a lot of damage onto this keep. And with it shut down for so long here, it's falling pretty low. Although the damage potential kind of switching around. They focus more on the heroes than on the tower here, so the keep is going to survive. And now it's a 5v4 in favor of Party Time. Blessed Shield going out, looking for the Arthas. We've got Dahaka. He's going to miss the tongue thanks to that crushing jaws, but they get the kill onto Arthas either way. ETC knocks back the Dahaka, probably looking to see if he couldn't get a mosh pit there, but there are no heroics to combo with. So ultimately, just like we saw a few moments ago, we're going to see that kill onto the frontliner. The difference is that Party Time isn't going to be able to take any kind of advantage while they've got this kill. I mean, there's only the one camp available on the map, and anywhere that they push, a 5v4 is still going to be very difficult for them to push into, thanks to the new tower rules. So getting the kill earlier onto Johanna during that objective was fantastic for HOTUS and really set them up well. And now it's the quest for 20. Which team can get there first? Right now, HOTUS is in the lead on that. And I would be expecting Party Time to make a play here. They're looking for the Raynor. They're splitting up a little bit. They see that they're on the siege camp here. There goes Rhaegar dropping his slowing totem, his Earthbind totem. And here comes the fight that they're looking for here. Arthas getting right in onto the Alexstrasza. Alex got knocked away, so she wasn't able to use the Cleansing Flame. Interrupted, so she's taken out here. ETC pulling back here. Very low. The Horrify used to disengage the team, and now that Shaman camp. Returning to it is HOTUS. They're calling off from the Shaman camp. Shaman Camp didn't have a whole lot of health left, so I'm kind of surprised by that. They could have had that out on the map, but instead they want to get the aggressive Shaman Camp. I think they could have had a double Shaman Camp here. Down in the bot lane, though, there is pressure mounting. Got a siege camp and a catapult. Gonna provide some structure value in favor of party time. So maybe the goal here is that HOTUS wants to have that shaman camp up. As they've got level 20, they want to have that up and pressuring the top lane while the next shrine is active. I'm assuming that that's what they're going for. And it makes sense, right? They get the top lane camp, steal it away from their opponents. Get level 20. And now HOTUS painting the map as blue as they possibly can make it. Most of these camps should be able to be cleared, but the top camp's going to take a little while for it to get onto the red side of the map. So that's going to be something that Dahaka's got to take care of with that global. Level 20 is coming up soon here for party time, and there it is. And here comes, looking for the Tychus. He does get the dash away. Blessed Shield misses. Arthas getting pulled in close to the towers. The isolation out there as well. Cleansing Flame not enough to finish the job, as ETZ gets the mosh pit only onto Dahaka, but gets interrupted. Now ETC is in a dangerous place. But Tychus the first to fall here. ETC being pulled back in, gets face melted away as Dahaka, and Shuman going to get a little bit of healing from the abundance. But Syndragosa coming in, mid-fort going to fall here soon. Dahaka getting caught by the crushing jaws and going to be taken out. Johanna as well here soon. Instead, pops the Iron Skin, is able to make it away. And all 5 members of HOTUS here gonna mount up, head up into the top lane, and start to push this down. They should be able to take out this top keep without the use of Hyperion, and then use that onto the structure. Now keep in mind that, or the core rather, if they want to push for that. 40 seconds on Dahaka, 25 on the Tychus. So instead they're gonna go ahead and pull back, get the objective, and then head through the bot lane. I think Syndragosa will be back up by then. They don't have Mosh Pit. They don't have Death Metal. Rhaegar did take the Storm Shield, and Arthas has the Anti-Magic Shell. Got Ancient Flame here from Alexstrasza. So if she's able to get those auto attacks, that's quite a big burst in damage with the Flame Buffet. She didn't take any of the other level 1 or level 7 that helps reduce the cooldown or increases her self-healing, but she did take at level 16 the 7-second additional duration. So ultimately a big burst of damage potential here with that Flame Buffet stack. Syndragosa just 8 seconds away, so it will be up and available here. We've got the Hyperion as well for the siege, and Mosh Pit will be up in the middle of this as well. So pretty much all of the ultimates available for both teams. Is this enough for HOTUS to finish the game? There goes Syndragosa, is going to be able to shut down the fort. The Punisher, however, being pulled up toward the mid-keep. And making its way on the core. Now, keep in mind, core is vulnerable. The shields falling here. Top keep having already gone down. The root coming out onto Orphea here. Double roots, actually. And ETC getting attacked by the core. Looking for the Dahaka, but they're not quite able to get that. Cleansing Flame coming out. Johanna also very low. Does get a little bit of healing, so it's coming back in. Core, however, falling rapidly as just so much potential pressure from HOTUS. And we see Waterboy and Watson and Jub finishing the job on core. Game number 2 going over to Heroes of the United States. Take a look at the kills, talents, stats. 8 kills to 3, so a very low kill count game. But definitely, you know, HOTUS had that in their hands for most of that game. They played a very solid game. All right. Well, let's get set up for game number 3, shall we? Both of these teams, long-standing teams of NGS Party Time in a couple of different names. HOTUS has been around for a while as well, although they did take a season or 2. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2. Both previously in Division B, now sitting in Division A. And our last game is going to be on Volskaya. And let's see who picked this one. Once again, the map selection of Party Time. And we'll get the teams set up here. All right, all set up and ready to go. Just need the game to load. And here we go. Game number 3 between Heroes of the United States and Party Time. Let's get our teams introduced. On the left, we've got Heroes of the United States. Clyde going to be playing Raynor, Blaze on the Sylvanas, Waterboy on the Artanis, Watson on the Arthas, and Jub playing the Deckard Cain. And for Party Time, it's going to be Leoric, played by Sealy Man, Bishop Mist on the Mephisto, Pokeflute on Stukov, Chess Clue, going to be playing the Johanna, and Shoeman on the Sergeant Hammer. Right away, it looks like we're going to get a little bit of bottom shenanigans. See if they can't rotate that Sergeant Hammer in and poke down probably this bottom tower here, I expect. As Johanna heading up to stall out anybody that wants to come in and delay this. Only a little bit of damage there. The rotation pretty quick from HOTUS. And big swap there onto Bishop Mist. Can they get the kill? They do. 31 seconds, so much faster than game number 2. By about half. First blood going over to HOTUS. You know what? I didn't check to see if Raynor got the 3rd kill last game. That's too bad. All right, so what do we got out of Hammer here? Advanced artillery, increasing the splash damage. Also, its radius. So anytime those heroes are close together, they'll take additional damage. But of course, structures and minions will take additional damage as well. We've got Leoric and Johanna coming up into the top lane. Sealy Man heading down into the bot lane, I imagine now, since they've got their Sergeant Hammer shenanigans out of their system for the moment. Protector of Ire, the pick here for Artanis as well. So that's a new talent, just came out here, I believe, last week. Giving him additional auto attack damage, a percentage increase over time based on the number of autos he has against heroes. And kills give him more. So, there you go. Interested to see how high that talent gets. I think the highest I've seen was like 60-something%. That was in a brawl, so don't expect we'll see it that high here. It is going to be Merc Queen for the Sylvanas, so she'll have those empowered turrets. Also the empowered siege camps. So if they choose to push with those siege camps, could be some significant damage here. And we are actually seeing that right now. Arthas looking for the Johanna. Johanna pulling back. Anybody out there, by the way? Chat has been absolutely dead. Almost wondering if chat's not broken or if it's not disconnected or something. All right, level 4 going to be Potion of Shielding. So that's a little bit of a surprise here, as Ruby was buffed beyond belief to basically be available every time Deckard throws out a Roderick Cube. There's the root coming out onto 2 here. Now, I assume that we're going to see Siege Tactics. So Unstoppable for the Sergeant Hammer, making sure that she can't get swapped. You know, that's pretty important. Hey, Ektar. Fair enough. You know what? I appreciate you being here. And identifying the chat is actually working. Same to you, Pokeflute. Good to see you guys. All right, so the channel started here in favor of Party Time, sitting at 40% now. And Hammer just off the side, making sure that they're safe. Schumann is safe, able to do damage pretty far into the point. And this is a very safe comp. Like, this comp wants you to come in, right? There's the swap, but there's no... Well, never mind. There's the follow. Got the root from the Arthas here. Silence from the Stukov is going to probably save the Sergeant Hammer there, allowing Schumann to get out of danger. And level 7's now available here for HOTUS, but shortly thereafter, Party Time picking those up as well. So we got Sergeant Hammer coming around the safe way into the mid lane, and Leoric was looking like maybe he was coming down, but ultimately stayed up top for the moment. It's going to be hover for the Sergeant Hammer, so she gets a little bit of mobility now. Doesn't have to pop out of siege mode to move around the map. And turret's going to be used now for Party Time, as Sylvanas went down to pick up the turret here for HOTUS. And HOTUS still kind of sticking around. Doing pretty decently. They do have that Potion of Shielding from Deckard to keep him fairly healthy, although Raynor falling very low thanks to Bishop Miss there on the Mephisto. And now Artanis getting the swap out onto, I think it was Pokeflute. Overtime procced, but at this point I think HOTUS needs to, you know, cut their losses. They're down a player. They've already got overtime. Chest Clue falling very low, but Sylvanas using that Haunting Wave does get out, but not far enough. So the channel now going to be going over to Party Time, and I don't think there's any significant way that HOTUS can push into this at this point without that Sylvanas. They really need that damage. There's the Unstoppable, as we discussed earlier there, to make sure that Sergeant Hammer can't get away. The root just barely missed time there on the Mephisto, and here he comes with that Shade of Mephisto once again, and the Lightning Nova, getting loads of value into the team. And so far with this Protector, the first wall going down in the middle, and Johanna and Leoric both are in the Protector. So no real protection here for Sergeant Hammer if they're able to find a way to get on her. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case, though, as they're trying to do whatever they can to defend against the Protector. But the wall going to go down, as will the well, the healing well. And that's a pretty successful Protector overall. Getting 4 towers, getting the healing well, and a lot of damage here on the Arthas, the Raynor, and the Sylvanas. So they don't even necessarily have to leave just yet. They can continue to poke it with the Sergeant Hammer at long range. But they're going to go ahead and pull back. HOTUS just slightly closer to level 10 here. And how do things change for level 10? Are we going to see the... Let's see. What's it called? Purifying Beam, I think, for Artanis. I imagine that'll be the pick. Although the blind could be nice too. And it is going to be Suppression Balls. We also have the Hyperion. We got Army of the Dead this time instead of the Cinderghost. It makes sense since Arthas is the main tank here. Also got the Wailing Arrow. And what's it going to be for Deckard? I don't think Deckard's going to be able to... I'm making a prediction. I don't think Deckard's going to be able to Lornado the Sergeant Hammer into the team. So we'll see if that works out for them. We got Massive Shove along with Durance of Hate, Blessed Shield, BFG, and Entomb for the side of Party Time. Siege Camp here picked up with that Merc Queen is going to go ahead and get that top fort. There's the Lornado pushing everybody back from the wall. So just the 1 tower so far. But that's better than they had before. Raynor down in the bot lane, pushing off Leoric. Getting close to that wall here. Gets a little bit of damage on the wall thanks to the minions. And in the long run, that's going to provide him a little bit of value toward the latter stages of the game, if they can get that pressure. Durance of Fate going out does hit the Arthas, also hits the Artanis, but the Lornado coming out, providing essentially a little bit of a wall. Swap going out onto Bishop Mist, but he's going to go ahead and slowly walk his way out. Does use the Shade just to get out of the root. And Tomb coming out with the BFG right on top of Raynor. Raynor's going to get taken out. And Shoeman just slowly moving forward to provide a little bit more poke damage onto these heroes. And now with this 5v4, Party Time going to pick up the support camp. So equipment-wise, Party Time is doing it right. They got a heal camp. They've got a turret. Only one turret right now available for HOTUS in the hands of Artanis here. We are going to continue to pick up as much XP as possible. Sorry, I missed that one there. As Sylvanas getting taken out by the Mephisto here. And there's the swap. Here's Artanis looking for the Mephisto, but taking boatloads of damage to do so here. Gets caught by the Durance of Hate, but the shielding keeping him up, as well as the Decker. The swap going out onto Sergeant Hammer, but not enough. Arthas now with the Frost Presence, trying to do what he can, but can't get away. Like, Arthas can't get away from anything anyway, but when you've got an Entomb, makes it even harder. How OP was Bishop Mist internet in this game? Nice. Still though, I mean, Bishop Mist is getting a ton of value. Manages to get that kill onto Raynor as well. The Mephisto doing a lot of work here. Ultimately picking up the top fort. That's the first structure of this game. Just a little bit under 10 minutes. And Sergeant Hammer going to make it away as well as Mephisto there. So we got Poke Flute hanging on. 69% on the channel. And so far, that's it. I mean, they do have a 4v4 here because Leoric's down in the bot lane, so Poke Flute's going to pull back. Durance of Hate coming out, hits on the Artanis, and allows them to get another root as well, but Johanna just isn't going to make it out of this one. But does Watson... No. Watson just uses some ghouls, keeps nice and healthy, and doesn't have to worry about the Mephisto coming in. The swap going out onto Sergeant Hammer with that Unstoppable pulls Artanis into the team, but ultimately able to walk away, just not enough from the team to really secure anything there. Yeah, that's true. Good point, Ektar. Ektar says that with Unstoppable preventing blinds, that Hammer can ignore that blind. So here we go. We got everybody here from HOTUS. Johanna's not quite here yet, so this is an ideal time to fight. Although it's HOTUS falling very low here. Raynor has a danger ping on him, but I think that's coming from Sergeant Hammer. Can Waterboy get the kill onto the Leoric? It's very close, but not quite. The root coming out onto Arthas with the Durance of Hate there, and now Johanna is here, coming in with the blinds as well, and that's not something you want on your Artanis. Still looking for the kill onto Leoric, but they're not able to get it. Artanis going to be the one to fall, and now can Blaze make it out on the Sylvanas? Just barely. At 96% is Party Time, and that should guarantee them now the second protector of the game. And Ektar redeeming some cast points. It's going to be a bit Ektar for that, but I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. I'll claim that if that's available. And if not, then we'll talk about it. Mid fort going down, making their way down to the bot lane. Level 16 available here for Party Time. Only sitting at 14 is HOTUS. And already the wall just taking massive amounts of damage here. Getting max value out of that laser here. And Sylvanas getting caught by the Durance. And Artanis with the swap pulls Mephisto into him because he got caught by the Durance there. The I don't know, the growing circle there. And Leoric gonna finish him off. So now this all but secures the bottom fort for them. So able to get all 3 forts within 3 minutes of this game, 2 of which coming from the second protector. What more can they do? It looks like Hammer wants to get the siege or the fortification camp here. And can they keep pushing? I mean, they've got the lane pushed up pretty far in the bot lane, but it looks like instead they're going to head up to the top. I think they could have kept pushing with us and gotten keep value. Maybe not keep death, but I think they could have gotten that keep wall. Instead, they're going to get the support camp, which helps them on their third control point later here. And continuing their way around the map, getting all of the camps, except for the one. The one that HOTUS has picked up and sent out up in the top lane here. This art needs like 400 more stacks. Yeah, pretty much. Like the Protector of Ire, like it takes a while to really get to the point of being, you know, a significant damage increase. Right now, where it's only 10%. The swap going out onto Chest Glue, but that just pulled Johanna into the rest of the team. Is that going to be a major problem? There's the support being used, the biotic emitter. BFG coming out. So many people are falling as 2 fall first. Watson now in the middle of the team is going to be the 3rd one to fall, and the Wailing Arrow did go out and silence a whole bunch of people, but it's not enough. Blaze getting very low here. Actually used the Wailing Arrow to go back in. I think they were trying to get a kill maybe onto the Mephisto, but ultimately just sacrificed the life of Sylvanas. And this time we are going to see them push now in the mid lane with that Sergeant Hammer. They got that extra range. So all but certain that this wall is down. And we'll see how much more they can get out of it. Leoric is going to be spawning here in a while. Just kind of keeping an eye on the siege camp up in the top lane. And we've got that Lornado pushing the Sergeant Hammer away. So about half of the keep. Pretty significant value. And if Party Time's able to pick up this next Protector, which they've already gotten 2, if they're able to pick up the 3rd Protector, they could potentially take that through mid lane and win the game. Nice open path to victory there. Using the Protector's Glove, the Fist, whatever it's called, to shut down the structure. Could finish it off pretty quickly. And they're also going to be level 20. This is a fantastic place to be if you're Party Time. Strong positioning here. And if you're HOTUS, you kind of got to find a place here. It's going to be very difficult to defend against the Protector. But here comes that Buried Alive. Gets the silence out. Sylvanas and Artanis both caught and deleted. Deckard as well. Do they even need the Protector at this point? With 5 heroes, 3 of which are dead on the other side. They might not. They get started on the wall. And either way, even if they don't keep pushing here, this makes it a little bit faster for them to bring the Protector closer to the core. Turret is now used so that they can get the Mimic damage as well onto this bottom keep, and this keep is going down. So that's out. Leoric went back to pick up the Protector, or at least to get it started. Now, there will be the potential for a defense here from HOTUS, but they're not going to have level 20 to do it. And back into the mid lane, so that's going to be a second keep they'll be able to take down here. Blind coming out slows things down for a moment, but it's still going to go down, right? One more hit? There you go. And 60% on the point. And I think this is the Hail Mary play. I think that if you're Heroes of the United States, that you have to get your team together and you have to go in, you have to fight them on this point with all of the chaos. And it stinks, but I think fighting at the core is worse with the level 20 and the Protector. There's the swap onto Mephisto. He just leaves. Durance I thought went out, but I don't see it. Gonna get that Blessed Shield onto Artanis. He gets taken out. There's the Durance I mentioned. And BFG getting just so much value onto Deckard and Sylvanas. They're gonna fall. Mephisto will fall in the back line as well, but Arthas getting taken out. Clyde as well. And that's gonna be I'd make it a 5-man team wipe for the one hero of Mephisto. And Party Time now gonna go ahead and hop in that Protector. They got 30 seconds before Artanis makes it back on to the map. And I think at this point, with the Sergeant Hammer and with the Protector, they're marching their way to victory. This is the unfortunate 60 seconds of time where there's really not much to say. The core taking all of its shielding there in just a couple of attacks. And Poke Flute with Stukov. Let's take a look. How much does Stukov do on his auto attacks here? 596, I think that is. Yeah. Game number 3 going over to Party Time and the series. 22 kills to 4. Such a difficult comp for HOTUS to play into there. They just couldn't quite crack the code of how to deal with the Sergeant Hammer or the Mephisto. I mean, Mephisto did massive amounts of damage, right? Mephisto did 86,000. Sergeant Hammer, not an insignificant amount of damage either, but primarily able to do so to the structures. Next closest here, 48k for Raynor, 42 for Sylvanas. So clearly a difficult setup for HOTUS to go into, and well played by Party Time. Alrighty then. All set. That's it. 2-1 victory. Party Time over Heroes of the United States. Let's take a look at the standings now that we've completed that, shall we? Let's see. There they are. All right, so Party Time currently sitting at 5 points. Heroes of the United States with 1 point. So quite a match to have between these two teams. So before this match, it would have been what, 3-0. So still very close. This is only the second week, and we can see there Insomnia sitting up at 7 points in number 1, and Parsley, etc. number 2 with the 6 points. So that is going to be it for right now. Ektar, I'll reach out to you about that other game so that we can get that scheduled for a replay cast. And everybody else, thanks for joining me today. If you missed the live cast that we had earlier of the Division E game between Fredonia and Cerebral Gaming, make sure you check that out. It'll be in the Twitch VODs, and it'll be on YouTube here soon. I'll post, once they're all completed, I'll post them in your Division chat so you can catch them. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.